God, are we dumb? We're so dumb. Another OJ documentary. How many do we need? We're just a bunch of sheep. It's the same shit. Give them another OJ doc. More interviews, more footage. More interviews, more footage. I saw my buddy Rick this morning at drop-off. Our kids go to the same school, and he's like, "You watching the new OJ?" What? No. Haven't we learned enough? And he's like, "I'm telling you, man, there's some things we still need to learn about it." I'm like, Rick, we're 43. We were together. I've known Rick since I was about 8. I said, we were together in your grandpa's car, listening to the radio when the verdict came in. Haven't we had enough? It's like JFK. They just play the hits. The moon landing. There's only a few things that are calling our name, right? I mean, Americans, we get amped about the same old shit, just reheated in a bunch of different directions. You could give me all the Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. Give me all the platforms. We're still just chasing the next OJ doc. We're still just checking out the new JFK info. We still want to hear a little bit more about that alien sighting. We're just playing the hits. I've run out. Isn't that weird? There's more than ever, and we've run out. They're just doing remakes and remakes. Honestly. The other night, my wife and I, it was like one of those nights where I finally had some couch time. Been busy. Haven't you? We've all been busy. Hey, January was crazy. I hope February comes down a little bit. But my wife and I are on the couch and we're like, what should we do? Should we watch a movie? Should we catch up on a show? We went to YouTube and watched an episode of Jeopardy from 1987, and I kind of wish I was kidding. I wish we were a more exciting couple, but we watched a full episode of Jeopardy from 1987, and we couldn't stop. The hairstyles, the questions, the ads. Oh my God, the ads. Who was the Jack in the Box voiceover guy? You think we fast forwarded through the ads in 1987? Nah. Who was the Jack in the Box voiceover guy? He was the kindest, calmest, sweetest voice. God damn it, folks. He introduced us to finger foods.
Jack in the Box Restaurants introduces finger foods.
You pick them up. Pop them in your mouth.
Take your pick. Crispy egg rolls, golden shrimp, or chicken strips.
You just pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Get your hands on our new finger foods at Jack in the Box. Serious food that's fun to eat.
All gone.
Oh, shit. A little piano. Chip. And the guy who's telling us about finger foods. I don't know the history of finger foods. I've been Googling a lot of shit. Googling a lot of stuff lately. And I have not Googled the history of finger foods, but if you just told me, yeah, Jack in the Box 87, that's when they introduced it. No utensils, no plates. You just put your hand in the bag and whatever comes out, you eat it and you love it and you don't check the nutrition facts and you don't log the calories and you don't feel guilty. What was it about fast food where it used to feel more okay? Now I'd feel like I'm sinning. And I don't even adhere to the idea of sinning. But if I was just sitting in my car, a dark parking lot, throwing down Whoppers at Burger King, I'd feel like this is wrong. I would have that devil on my shoulder. Sure, there's the angel enjoying the taste of those incredible golden fries. By the way, yes, I said it. Burger King fries better than McDonald's fries, and I stand by that. Although if Jack in the Box wants to get in the mix and have the curly fry candidate, then it's more of a discussion. But I think I know the answer. And you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it did used to be healthier. There were less additives and chemicals and preservatives. I honestly think this was a story. Now, is it true that all the candy corporations and a lot of the fast food corporations were at some point bought out by the tobacco and alcohol corporations and tobacco and alcohol owners and those corporations? They don't give a shit what they put into their product because they're just hoping to hook you. So there was a chance that if you were eating McDonald's in the 70s and 80s, that it was a healthier version of the McDonald's we eat today. Could that be true? Same with candy. If you were eating Skittles and M&Ms in the 70s and 80s, it was a healthier version than what we're eating today. Could that be true? Because the companies that bought out, this is the dark conspiracy theory of fast food and candy. They're bought out by big tobacco and all the alcohol bootleg mobsters who started to put ugly additives in it. Don't Google this stuff. Don't Google it. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story. But I think it's true. When the Jack in the Box guy tells you about finger foods, there's no guilt. I ate Jack in the Box every single day in college for a good year. I don't remember feeling guilty. And I also don't remember feeling heavy. And maybe this is just about aging. I think that's what it is. I mean, let's get down to it. When you age, you have to be so intentional about what you put into your body because 90% of the things you want to put into your body will force you to take a nap within the hour. If I really spent one day, let's just say one day, eating and drinking and ingesting anything I want to do, just a free day of poor health, no one cares, I'd be sleeping most of that day. I'd get through the Taco Bell drive-thru with, I'll have 3 double-decker Supremes, 1 Mexi Melt. Can we do a Mexican pizza as well? Is that still on the menu? And what else? Pintos and beans. Let's do a Nachos Bel Grande. Yeah, and let's go extra sour cream and tomatoes because I know those tomatoes are fresh back there. Can we add some crunchy hard-shell Taco Supremes? You always have to say, not soft Taco Supremes. Yeah, just Taco Supremes. And what else? Just maybe a classic bean and cheese burrito. Yeah, no onions. Actually, who am I kidding? Yeah, throw in some onions. Okay, so I'd get through the Taco Bell drive-thru. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. Just hand in the bag. I would try to find a Wendy's because that Wendy's drive-thru made you feel like, oh, this is different. Dollar menu. I'll have baked potato at Wendy's at 2 a.m. with your eyes glazed over. And I'll have the chili bucket too. And then let's have the square cheeseburgers. Hey, Wendy's, so novel. And then let's have a full bottle of Beefeater on the rocks with a little squirt of lime. You're asleep. You get this old and it's not fun. That's such a bummer to look forward to aging. Aging's great in the sense that I guess you develop some more wisdom. And if you have kids, you get to see them grow up and develop, and it's a loving experience. But really, when you think about your diet, it's so sad that you have to limit it if you want to feel good. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I sleep so poorly, and then I have to backtrack. What did you eat today? Why are you sleeping so poorly? I actually don't know the answer. Maybe it's just anxiety. Am I full of anxiety spikes at 3 a.m.? Because I get right to bed at 10 p.m. I lay down with my comedy memoir, same thing. Just like I said, Americans, we just go in the same direction. Same shit, reheated. What are you reading? A murder mystery, some Stephen King. We only have a select few amount of things that actually attract our attention. The new OJ doc? You watching it? So if the Bronco didn't... So, no. The knife was found at the glove. Oh my God, we can't get it. We know all the lawyers' names. We know the lawyers' names like we know the 1927 Yankees players. I mean, just the OJ trial doesn't stop. Oh, Rick's watching. I don't think I'm going to tap into it yet. I mean, soon I'll have to, but not yet. In bed comedy memoir. And then I'm dreaming by 10:30 p.m. I'm dreaming. I'm probably snoring. I'm probably drooling. I'm probably sweating. And then, boom, something happens. The light goes on. And my brain wakes up at 3 a.m. And I'm just awake. Like right now, I'm recording this at night. The girls are asleep. And I go into the bedroom with this microphone. I'm like, I'm going to do a podcast. This is a brand new episode. And I have no energy. I mean, I hope it sounds like I have a little bit. Running on fumes. That's what we say. I'm running on fumes. The all-new Finger Foods, where Josh is running on fumes. I don't think voiceovers are that calm anymore. I think it's more kick in the door and slap you across the face in the world of commercial voiceover. But that guy who did Jack in the Box, I think he also did a lot of the commercials in 1987. Where everything just looked white. My good Lord, we watched Jeopardy and every actor and every commercial was white. We got more diversity on the screen. Okay, we're making progress. Some people would like that, but clearly a lot of this country would not like to see the progress of minorities on the screen. A lot of DEI talk lately. Hearing this? Should we get into some tariff talk as well? Watch 60 Minutes, and it seemed like the president didn't actually understand what tariffs were. That was interesting. Now, Scott Pelley had to educate us on what tariffs were. And then later this week, we saw, okay, yeah, he's not going to lay those tariffs down on Canada and Mexico and China. Okay, he wants more Americans working in the factories. But the truth is Walmart, Target, and Kohl's like Chinese materials to outsource the labor for shit pay. And that is the American way. Oh, so I emailed Kaiser today. I did. I'm sick of being this diet. I'm sick of it. Anyone else out there? Just like you're living in this cycle of insomnia where you just have enough energy to get through the tasks of the day, but the irritability levels get a little higher. A little higher. I probably have a good night's sleep, I'd say 3 or 4 times a month. That's it. Now I've reached the age where I said, you know what? And I've never thought like this. I'm ready for meds. Here it is, the big show. So my email to my doctor at Kaiser today said, Dear Doctor, and you're going to think I'm making this name up, Tokgan Talagan. This is Sanderfeld Kaiser, if you think I'm kidding. Her name is Dr. Elif Tokgan Talagan. Tokgantalegon. She has 2 last names, and one of them is Tokgan and Talagan. And I don't know, is this AI or is this a real person? So I emailed the doctor, and she always writes back, and it looks like it is AI. There's no human touch to it. If I say I'm hurting, there's just like 90 bullet points of click on these links. Kaiser, thanks for nothing. But I said I'm ready for an as-needed anxiety medication so I can sleep. And she said, fill out the questionnaire. Oh, and then make an e-visit. We have something that maybe in late March we can see you. Kaiser, what a kick in the nuts. You know, I should just be grateful that I have some benefits through my job, but oh, Kaiser will make you slam your own head right through your wall. And then you go, I didn't know my own strength. I didn't know. Are these walls flimsy? How did that happen? And when you call a handyman and you say, I got to fix a hole in the wall, they go, what's wrong? You go, I was just playing catch with the baseball. And they go, that looks like it's a human head-sized hole. And I go, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not here to talk about it, but how much to fix this? How much to replace the old drywall, wood paneling, and then paint it again? Because the Kaiser just charged us $1,500 to check on my daughter's freckle. We got worried about a raised freckle, and then we got the invoice. And hey, we don't know how much a freckle check is supposed to be in America, so we just have to pay it. Thanks, you motherfuckers. You guys, like Kenny's friend Stevie Janowski. Oh, Stevie was the best character on Eastbound and Down, but where was I? I don't even know where I was, but the reply pretty much said, hey, enjoy that insomnia. So welcome in. Hey, everybody. My name is Josh. I appreciate all you streaming this bad boy. It's episode 250, and it could be special. It could also just be repetitive and the same old shit reheated like an OJ documentary series, but you've kind of established that this is what you want. If you keep coming back, this is what you want. I don't think you need me to reinvent it with more bells and whistles. I think we'll be talking about finger foods. And we'll be talking about the checker at Trader Joe's. The friendly checker at Trader Joe's. Hey, did you find everything okay? Yeah, thank you. Why? Why are they in such a good mood? I mean, it helps morale and it helps the environment, but what's happening? What drugs are the checkers at Trader Joe's forced to take before their shifts so they welcome you with such positive energy? Maybe the exact opposite of most grocery stores. Most checkers at grocery stores are kind of miserable these days. You go to Trader Joe's, holy shit, they're so sweet, they're so nice. They are so interested in your groceries, right? That's Trader Joe's. They make small talk. Oh, you found the corn nuts? Peruvian? I love those. You know, I eat them by the handful. And then everyone in line is just like, oh, this is such an individualized experience. The Trader Joe's cashier and checkers, and even the people bagging, they all address what I'm getting in the frozen food oil. Those pot stickers, right? And then they give you like a little recipe. You just put them in like a little soy sauce. Then you add a little kimchi. You ever do that? Oh, you got to do it. Pot stickers, man. Good to see that. And it's like always a win. I've never seen a bad exchange at Trader Joe's until recently. That's why I'm bringing this up. This past Sunday at Trader Joe's, you could tell my checker, and it's okay to be depressed. Are you kidding me? It's America. No judgment, but clearly a depressed person. Like, you know, just the fog. You could just see it in their face. Like, this person didn't want to be on the shift. They were making no small talk. They were not offering any lollipops or stickers to my girls. Hey, do you have any stickers today? We found the honor. Can we have a lollipop? There was none of that. It was just quiet, and I do my bagging, and it was quiet, and I appreciated that. But I realized, wow, she's not asking any questions about any of my groceries. Hey, don't you see the chomps? Shouldn't we have a question about the chomps? Or what about the lack of eggs? Shouldn't we have a question and maybe like a comment about the lack of eggs? And are you going to compliment that I drink athletic, non-alcoholic beer sometimes? And you go, wow, it really tastes like the real thing. Can we have that conversation? Or what about my steel-cut oatmeal? And you go, you ever put honey on oatmeal? And I go, yeah, sometimes I put honey on oatmeal. And she goes, you ever add flaxseed for fiber? And I go, yeah, I need the fiber because I'm always constipated. And then the checker says, yeah, that's a good breakfast. You ever add berries to the steel-cut oatmeal in the morning with the honey? I go, yeah, I add the berries in the morning. And this lady said nothing. And I appreciated it, but Her manager walked by, and she knew it was time to play the game. This is a true story. A silent Trader Joe's checking experience until the big Hawaiian shirt manager walks by, and this girl is in the midst of swiping the milk, and she looks at me and she's just like, this milk's so good. And I was like, what in the fuck kind of small talk attempt is that? You went for the milk of all the things I gotta buy. You just looked at me with those dead eyes and said, this milk's so good. I love it. You drink it. And I'm like, nope. But when your manager walks away, we don't have to have this milk exchange anymore. You like the milk in a cup. I'm like, you're not even going to say like add chocolate syrup or put it on Frosted Flakes like all the other checkers are trained to do with their own little Trader Joe's small talk recipes. Oh, right on. I see you got some salami. You ever put that in a pan, sizzle it up, and then throw some fried eggs on there, maybe on some sourdough toast? You feel like you're in Costa Rica. I'm like, I've never been to Costa Rica, but my good Lord, how about that? But the milk conversation got stale in a hurry. Our milk conversation, it's safe to say it, expired before the date. We're back after this.
Old things that I found, old bones lying on the ground, old bells that I hear ring, love them old things.
Oh, you love them old things, don't you? Well, then you love me, 'cause old Daddy-O is emailing Kaiser. I'll take the meds. Okay, we've gotten there. Can't do this anymore. I got the anxiety spikes. And what am I thinking about at 3 a.m.? What are you thinking about? Nothing. Because when you actually wake up the next day, you're like, geez, none of that mattered at all. You get crystal clear vision when you're driving to work. You're like, well, none of that mattered, but it mattered so deeply at 3 a.m. 3 a.m., I'm thinking, man, should we go North Lake or South Lake for our June trip to Tahoe? And are we going to be able to afford a full week? I don't just want to do 2 nights. I want to do 2 weeks in Tahoe. And will I ever be able to buy a cabin on the lake if I'm not in the mafia? And how do I join the mafia? And will the mafia have me? What do I have to do to get into the mafia these days? And am I still employable at the high school I work at if I'm also in the mafia? I don't know. I'm in that phase of teaching where I'm in the middle. I realize, like, you're probably a newbie. You're considered a rookie your first 5 years. And then you get into year 6, 7, and maybe you feel like a seasoned veteran a little bit. Then you get into the middle, and then it's like you got it down. Kind of like you're either good at it, or by that point you should know to get a new profession because it's not for you. So I'm in year 10 or 11 right now. Year 10 or 11, it's good. Like you feel like you got a grasp on the curriculum, on how to interact with teens, on the extracurriculars, on the small talk Olympics with coworkers. I mean, it's a nice phase of my profession. But if you're in year 20 and beyond, you only know how to have a conversation about when it's the weekend or when the next break is, or maybe even the fantasy conversation about retirement. I'm not saying they're bitter and jaded. I'm saying these teachers after year 20, you're still into it. You're probably still really good. But when it comes to the conversations I overhear with a real veteran teacher, with a real silver bearded, gray hair, wrinkled, I've been doing this for 23 years teacher, they will say on a Tuesday, all right, 3 more days, huh? And you're like, are we sentenced to be here? They will tell you exactly when the next break is. 2 weeks and 2 days. Am I right, Josh? And I'm like, oh, you're already thinking about that midwinter break. They go, 82 more days, pal. And they always know when summer starts. And they always can give you a reason why they can't attend a staff meeting. Oh, you guys are going to be discussing standards again, huh? Yeah. I got to beat the traffic. Okay. See you, Josh. All right. They'll see you on a Monday morning. They'll go, 5 more days, huh? I go, 5? What? You're already thinking about Friday energy on Monday? This is the conversation. Now, to surmise that they don't like their job is incorrect, and they're very good at it, but I think their brain just gets to seeing the finish line quicker than others. And the finish line, like, how do you picture retirement? I'll just ask you that right now. If you have a career right now, what does retirement look like? Travel, gardening, playing golf or tennis, like whatever it looks like. I feel like if you've taught for 20 years, you start to formulate the most fun answer to that question. Retirement must look like heaven. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Oh, heaven is a place. If you could have good health into your retirement, let's just say mid 60s, it is heaven. And you are able to have nice family members around you. And maybe you have a friend who you have coffee with twice a month and you read the newspaper. Every day you read the newspaper and then you meditate. God, I just remembered I forgot to meditate today. And it's February. I was going to say I've done Wim Hof breathing every single day for a year. So I still have to do this later tonight. But Wim Hof breathing, if you don't know what it is, I know I talk about it a lot. I actually think it's why I haven't gotten sick a lot. So if you're someone who gets sick a lot, I'm doing an endorsement for something that doesn't pay me. But just go to YouTube, type in Wim Hof breathing, and it guides you through 3 rounds of odd hyperventilation. But one of the things it says it's good for is immunity. And I don't know where wood is. I got to knock on wood. I got to knock on so much wood. Where's your wood? You know where it is, but you shouldn't knock on that during a podcast. Okay. Hey, don't work blue. That's too lowbrow. A little sophomoric. Hey, edit it out. I'm not going to edit it out. We're talking about wood, to knock on wood for good luck that you don't get sick. Well, maybe I don't need to knock on wood because Wim Hof breathing is why I don't think I've been sick in months. I mean, it's now February. We started the school year in August. I think I've only been sick once. When I first started, I was getting sick, no joke, 8-9 times a year. I was just living in my own misery of coughing and sore throats and fevers and fever dreams and mumps and measles. And I would get jaundice and giardia and I'd have whooping cough. I'd have all these medieval diseases. But with Wim Hof breathing, I have less malaria and less whooping cough and less jaundice and less measles and mumps. So follow me into a new world of health where you're parasympathetic and you're sympathetic. I don't know what is actually happening scientifically. I once looked it up, but I can't remember. You know what else I once Googled? And I bet you've Googled this too. If we evolved from apes, why do apes still exist? I guess it's a different strain. That's not the right use of strain. And I also Googled if we have dogs in our houses and they evolved from wolves, then why do we just have wild dogs called coyotes? And I saw a coyote at the gas station. Have I already talked about this? My family was in the car. I was pumping gas out the car. It came 20 feet away. There are more coyotes in the streets than there have ever been. And I don't know why. And my wife said, because they're looking for food. And I was like, why didn't I know that? I just figured they were here to scare the shit out of us. You know, you never know. Maybe they had a coyote meeting in the hills and they're like, let's go scare the fuck out of that guy pumping gas. He's going to be so scared. And it's true. I'm very scared. But it's like a weird fight with wildlife that I could win. Like if a coyote came up to me, I don't think I would die, right? A coyote attack. We could Google that too. Has a coyote attack ever killed someone? Like a human? I don't think so. I think we can win the fight, but it's still... That'd be traumatic to fight a coyote in front of your family at the gas station. And I didn't realize they were just foraging and looking for food. Foraging? Is that the right word? Oh, God. Now I just need to Google everything. Let me tap into my actual brain and see what knowledge is there beyond the screen, beyond the device. What is in my head? I actually said this to my students recently. I go, you're all smarter than us. The grown-ups at this school who grew up without any Google. We grew up without any YouTube. With the rare documentary. I mean, there were still books and encyclopedias to research, and there were still schools and education, but the streams of information, even though it could be misinformation nowadays and too much media, I get that, but they have access to more knowledge than ever before. They should be smarter. You know, we could insult the Utes of America and say they're addicted to their screens. And they're more isolated and less communal than ever, and they don't have manners, and they are overly privileged and all this, but they're smarter than us, right? Like, wouldn't you say? The average high schooler, if they're accessing all the things at their fingertips, they are much smarter. A 16-year-old today is smarter than, let's say, all of us. You know, I don't think young people listen to this, but however old you are, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when you were 16 years old, your intellect, your intelligence was inferior to the common 16-year-old today. That's my belief. I'm sticking to it. And it's not really a compliment. It's just basically saying there's a lot of shit out there. Like, how smart were you in 1724? If you were the smartest person in 1724, you were still so dumb. You were dumb as dog shit. You're like, I'm the smartest person in 1724. I've read Canterbury Tales 7 times. I believe we all live in a glass bubble. I believe it's healthy if women give birth to 11 kids in their lifetime. It's the 1700s. I believe doing my hair this way looks good. Dumb as shit. Come on, pal. Pick up your trousers. loosen your suspenders a little bit. Dust off that wig. There was, oh boy, I'm just going to tell you a story. I heard this story. In the 80s, there was a guy who left his job. He quit his job, and then he went on a little road trip. So picture that, you're solo, you hate your job, and you just say, I'm going to ride away. This is a true story. This guy was installing home alarm systems in Massachusetts, and then he quits. He hated it. He goes, I'm going to start over. He was 20 years old. His name's Chris. And he just went and drove and drove and drove with no destination. This is going to be like a horror story. You ready for this? Ghost story without ghosts. How many ghost stories didn't involve ghosts? They were just called scary stories, but with ghost in it. So Chris kept driving and driving, just 20 years old. And when he ran out of gas, he parked the car on the side of a road and he walked into the woods. Are you picturing this? And he stayed there for 27 years. For 27 years, this guy lived in the woods. How did he survive is your follow-up question. He stole from nearby cabins. Cabins, where are you from, Minnesota? So he stole from people's cabins, Josh, and he stole from people's campsites. And they said he committed about 1,000 crimes because he was just stealing and stealing and stealing to eat, stealing to live. But he never walked back to his car, and he never got another job or another residence. Just 27 years in the forest stealing from other people. I just read this story. His name was Christopher Knight. They called him the North Pond Hermit. How shitty was his job? God, installing home alarm systems? Was that bad? He's like, enough's enough. I'm going to go ahead and just make my way deep into the brush for 27 years. I know we all have a lot of questions. Like, why didn't authorities just find him already? He robbed thousands of people. And the answer is, yeah, he was elusive, but they eventually got him. And he was sentenced to 7 months in jail. That's it. Clearly, the guy has mental health disorders. But also the most fearless human of all time. I could barely take out the recycling without worrying about a deer or a skunk or a raccoon or a coyote attacking me. Yeah, that's right. I said deer attack. And this guy just goes into the woods for 27 years and doesn't interact with anyone else. And he hunts his own food and he melts his own snow for water. And every morning he woke up and he did the same exact thing. That's an eerie story, right? I mean, there's been articles written about it. I don't know if there's been a movie about this guy yet, but Christopher Knight, I don't even know if he's still alive. Maybe he is. It's time for him to write a memoir that I could fall asleep to. Are you falling asleep to this episode? Is it just me or is this one boring? I don't mean to be self-deprecating, but my eyelids are closing. They don't all have to be long, right? By the way, Andrea Bocelli's going to be singing Time to Say Goodbye to my role as mock trial advisor. So let me just put a bow on this. I know I've talked about this before, but when I was hired at the current high school I work at, they asked me to be the advisor, the coach for mock trial, which is about 20 kids who are either like, theater kids or want to be attorneys when they grow up kids or just to have something impressive on the resume. And they are so impressive. And of course, I was not great in this role because it was a lot of just, fill out the form, secretary work, get permission slips signed. They have actual attorneys. They have actual lawyers who are coaching them up on cross-examinations and objections and how to be a witness on a stand. And they learn all of these incredible skills, and they learn about the Constitution and a lot of Supreme Court cases. And then they eventually compete against other schools at the Marin County Civic Center. And it's amazing. And I did it for 3 years, and then I told admin, enough. I'd like to put my energy elsewhere, like trying to find 8 hours of absolute REM and blissful sleep. I've been busy to the point where it's not healthy. Haven't you? I'm not like saying pity me or anything. I'm a blessed individual. You see people in Gaza. You see people, the situation in Ukraine. You see people in the Palisades, LA fires, and you're like, what am I complaining about? Perspective is a beautiful thing. But I think I was starting to complain. At the end of January, I'm like, I'm too busy. So I emailed them. I would like to pass this off to another staff member after 3 years as the mock trial advisor. But as I reflect on this, and it's good that I was kind of asked to do this, not forced, but just asked to do this, something I thought was like a lunchtime club. It turns out like it's a big deal. It's a big deal in this country that young teens put on suits and they learn a court case, and then they argue and they argue and they argue with real judges and juries. And it's a population that I would have never met, probably. You know, we go to games. I go to football games and basketball games, but how many people even know what mock trial is? Even as I talk about it right now, you're like, mock trial? But this is why I say these teens they're smarter than we were. And it's a beautiful thing. They're going to have more information about what substances to avoid, hopefully. I just went to a staff meeting about fentanyl, and that was too scary to even talk about. Actually, too scary. My pulse was beating like crazy. My heart was beating. It was like panicked learning about fentanyl. The real numbers of fentanyl among teens and overdoses and how scary it is, I can't even get into it. I'll describe it some other time, or maybe you already know about it. But the idea of less teens are smoking cigarettes, less are drinking. A lot are learning more about the world and showing a thirst for knowledge. But these 20 kids on the Terra Linda mock trial team, and they didn't win the championship or anything, but oh my God, I was so blown away. When's the last time you were just blown away with human achievement and human effort, and hearing them access all of these court cases and being able to grill a witness with a lot of precedent and objections that make sense? I can't even explain how this job, you know, it fits me if I'm still always going to be this impressed with impressive people and open up my eyes to learning about different populations. It's not just like the jocks and the cheerleaders dominate high schools in America. So many other people are served. So if you're a parent right now of young kids, what a beautiful thought that is, right? There's no reason to fall through the cracks. There's like 100 clubs. Nerds are now considered just fine. You'll have a group of nerds and friends, and maybe you'll be popular nerds and even be the homecoming king or the prom king. I see, and maybe it's just where I teach, but I see more folks of the LGBTQ community. I'm probably leaving off some letters because I know that continually grows, LGBTQ, and then more letters, but are just feeling free to be themselves. I didn't see that in the 90s. You stayed in a closet. Most people, you know, at a young age, stay in the closet. Now you see people just free to express themselves, whether it's on social media or care about their representatives and leaders in order to challenge them and gaining knowledge so they could gain rights and gain more of a voice in this process. I'm seeing some good shit. I just am. And then some days are tough. And I think, what is it? Only 2 days till Friday and about 82 days until summer break. And I think it's about 9 days until our ski week, midwinter break. Okay, gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate you listening. Leave a nice review or rating wherever you listen. Should we hear the Jack in the Box guy one more time? Wasn't his voice soothing?
Jack in the Box Restaurants introduces finger foods.
You pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Take your pick. Crispy egg rolls, golden shrimp, or chicken strips.
You just pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Oh, the piano. It's all just so beautiful. And what's that shrimp made out of? I guarantee 0% real shrimp. Guaranteed. No, but back then it might have been shrimp. I'm watching the ad. See, this is just an audio experience for you, but when I play the YouTube ad, I'm watching it. And the shrimp looks amazing. I'm going to cry. I don't think I've ever cried on this podcast. And this is embarrassing, but the shrimp looked so good. The shrimp looked so good. And I know a lot of us, if you ever see shrimp on a fast food menu, you're taught to run. Oh, you're taught that you shouldn't take that risk. But I'm going to make it through this. Jack in the Box in 1987, they did have fresh shrimp. I'm certain of it. If you saw the ad, that bouncy golden shrimp, the finger foods at Jack in the Box. It was a healthier time for America. It really was, actually. Less obesity. Okay, I'm getting into the stats. Don't Google anything. If you listen to this podcast, don't Google it. It'll get in the way of a nice listening experience. But people were more in shape back then, okay? Because the shrimp at your fast food restaurant wouldn't kill you. It was good, all right? The way it should be. Sorry to get emotional at the end. That's episode 250. It's in the books. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.